Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Indah Aprilia as a moderator in this group. We are from group 2. We'll be share our summary about file, context, and register. So the first material I will deliver to you. It is about address as an influence on styles. So the better you know someone, the more relaxed the speech style you will use to them. People use considerably more standard form to those they don't know well, and more vernacular forms to their friends. In a study in Northern Ireland, for instance, people use more standard English forms with an English stranger visiting their village than they did talking to a fellow villager. And then next material will be delivered by Octaviani. Octaviani, please.
Okay, thank you. Age of address. People generally talk differently to children and to adults. Some adjust their speech style more than others. Even 3 years old have been heard using sing-song, baby talk, word like doggy when talking or reading to a 6 years old as opposed to a 30 years old. Most people simpler vocabulary and grammatical construction.
In trying to communicate, it is important that the addressee gets and understands the information as intended, and addressers may give statements for hours and end but never relay the information intended. The addressers should learn the addressee and understand the needs, understanding and the preference of her or his would-be audience before the address starts. There are several factors which come into play anytime audience is analyzed with the intention of deciding on the speech style to use the past information. These factors apparently do not come into play independently, but work in associations to determine the addressee suitable to a certain speech style. However, all these factors might not come into play at the same time, but two or more will be considered at any one given time. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Octaviani. For the next material will be delivered by Septiara. Septiara, please.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Explanation about accommodation theory, speech convergence, and speech divergence. When people talk to each other, their speech often becomes more similar. This process is called speech accommodation. It tends to happen when the speakers like one another, or where one speaker has a vested interest in pleasing the other or putting them at ease. And convergence refers to the process through which an individual sees his speech patterns in interaction so that they more closely resemble the speech patterns of his interlocutor. Divergence is a linguistic strategy whereby a member of a speech community accentuates the linguistic differences between his or herself and his interlocutor. When the Arab nations uses an oil communicate to the words not in English but in Arabic, they were making a clear political statement. Okay, back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Septiara. Next material will be delivered by Fiona. Fiona, please.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Okay, this material about formal context and social roles. Characteristic of the address are powerful influence on style choice. For example, if a student in school and his father is a teacher in this school, he then have to address him with Mr. Ahmed, then that. And this all because of people rules in this formal context. They have to determine the appropriate speech style. Okay, thank you, moderator.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. So the next material will be delivered by Fanny. Fanny, please.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Colloquial style or the vernacular. There are other strategies beside topic manipulate which have been used in order to capture people's most relaxed speech style. First, tapping groups of people then individual, and the second, choosing a very comfortable or informal setting. The example, an interviewer want to interview a group of African American teenagers, so he went to meet them in the street where they meet. And this kind of interviews increase the number of participants and contribute more relaxed speech.
Okay, thank you, Fanny. So next material will be delivered by Rizky. Rizky, please.
Okay, thank you, moderator. The interaction of social class and styles. When we want to sip styles, the obvious way to vary your speech is to imitate the speech of another person. Examples: in order to sound more casual, people models their speech on that of lower social groups. In order to sound more formal, they use people from a higher social group as their speech model. So, when they sip styles, people often adopt the linguistic features of a different group. So language, society, and culture. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rizky. So the next material will be delivered by Margareta. Margareta, please.
Okay, thank you, moderator. So I will explain about style in non-Western societies. So Japanese is a special set of grammatical and contrast politeness and respect for others. So knowledge of the complexities of stylistic variation in countries like Japan and Korea reflects a person's educational level and social status. So although the Islamic Revolution has increased the use of reciprocal forms of address, virtual courtesy is still very important in Iranian society. So I think that's all for me. Back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Margareta. So the next material will be delivered by Rangga. Rangga, please.
Okay, thank you, Indah. So register. Register when they are distinguished from style and tend to be associated with particular group of people or sometimes specific situation of use and language of with common interests or jobs. And sports announcer talk. When people describe a sporting event, the language they use is quite clearly distinguishable from language used in other contexts. Sports announcers makes extensive use of linguistics formulas and routines. I will illustrate each of these features in turn. Number one is syntactic reductions, and number two is syntactic inversions. Back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Rangga. So guys, that's all summary of our group about style, context, and register. So I hope the information that we delivered to you is useful. So and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.